what is going on? AFC East Roundtable. We're live here on the Jets Roundtable. We got the whole crew here in the building. It's me, Jake Asman, Matt O'Leary, and Ryan. Jets Talk 24/7. We're going to give you guys all the things you need to know about these New York Jets. We actually have some breaking Jets news to talk about a player that is claimed on the waiver wire. We have the final 53-man roster also announced. Well, not the final. We're going to see some additions, I'm sure. This show is being powered and brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook, folks. Definitely go check them out. In the description, we're going to hear from BetUS later on in the show, but definitely go check out BetUS. Had to give them a big shout out. Now, without further ado, let's bring in the suspects. We got the whole panel in the house tonight, or today, rather. Jake Asman, Ryan, Matt O'Leary. Let's freaking go. Welcome to the Jets Roundtable, folks. Expect this show every single Wednesday, 1 p.m. EST, all season long. Jake, how you doing, bro?
Let's go, baby. Good to be back. Excited for the season. What, 12 days away? But who's counting?
I'm not counting. I don't have a countdown on my wall. No one's counting. Come on now, Jets fans. We're pumped up. 12 days until Jets football's back. Ryan, how you feeling today, bro?
Feeling good. Got a little, half-day action at work. I was able to hop on with you guys. I'm looking forward to talking some ball.
Yeah, we missed you on the Jets Roundtable. You and Jake both. So we're excited to have you guys back for this week. Matt, how about you, bro?
I'm doing good. Was just waiting around yesterday, which felt like way too long for the Jets to finally drop that 53. But once they did, glad no big surprises and kind of just ready for the season now.
Ready for the season indeed. So we have the 53-man roster that I want to break down with you guys in the panel. Shout out to everybody tuning into the live chat. Folks, do us a favor, hit the like button, and also do not forget to subscribe to each and every single one of these guys' channels. It's down below in the description. We'll also be talking some AFC East stuff because, again, this is the Jets Roundtable on the AFC East Roundtable YouTube channel, so we want to keep around what's going on around the AFC East division. Also, we are this close to 15K subs on the AFC East Roundtable. I think we need like 5 more subs or something like that. So if you guys want to help us out on this show, let's hit 15K. Hit the subscribe button. We appreciate you guys. So let's start off with the breaking news of the New York Jets adding a tight end. Now, the biggest thing I saw from the 53-man roster was we got 2 tight ends. Kenny Yeboah on IR, Zach Kuntz, the easiest cut of them all, let's be honest, no offense. But we only had 2 healthy tight ends on the 53. Conklin, Ruckert, well, not anymore. The New York Jets have just officially claimed Brendan Bates from the Chicago Bears. And let me just remind you guys that Joe Douglas has found gems in the waiver wire. Matt, what's your thoughts of this addition to the New York Jets roster in Brendan Bates? Is he going to be the tight end 3, or are they just going to keep him until Kenny Yeboah is healthy? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, at least right out of the gate for the first 4 weeks of the year while Kenny Yeboah is on IR, I think he will be the tight end 3. And I guess that was one of the few surprises yesterday for me, was that the Jets were only going to carry 2 tight ends with Kenny Yeboah going on IR. But Brendan Bates, I thought, had a really good preseason, did some digging on him, score or graded out as one of the best tight ends in the preseason. And I think he gives you some special teams upside, which in the absence of Kenny Yeboah is a plus. So you obviously take that, and much needed depth here at a position where they didn't have it after losing Kenny Yeboah. So tight end was a spot for me. I thought they would potentially look to add. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if he ends up on the roster out of the gate.
Interesting stuff. Now, we got to give a shout out to the Italian Stallion for gifting 5 AFC East Roundtable memberships. The Italian Stallion himself. Thank you so much for this. Everybody give the Italian Stallion some dono hype, some membership. We got some people now in the chat that are AFC East Roundtable members. Now, you got some awesome little emojis you can use. I just actually added them. You got the AFC East Roundtable logo. You got the Roundtable logo. You can use Aaron Rodgers. You can use my face. You can look in the chat right there and go use those emojis and other perks. So shout out to everybody tuning into the chat. We're talking about the breaking news of the newest member of the Jets. Jake, what's your thoughts? The Jets added a new tight end on the waiver wire. What should we expect for this edition?
So I'm not shocked they added a tight end. I don't know anything about the guy they just added. I'm more interested in who loses their spot on the 53 because they added this guy to the 53, right? So that to me is the question. Who loses their spot because they added the tight end? I always thought they were going to keep 3 of the Yeboah injury being, IR worthy. That surprised me. So my big question is who gets cut now? Like, who made the team yesterday that now is about to find out, psych, you're actually not on the 53.
Ryan, who's getting cut to replace him? You have any insight?
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't know if we're looking at like a defensive player, because my first thought would have been like, Watts and Surratt are kind of the two guys that seem like they're on the bubble, but I think Watts is probably going to get replaced when Reddick eventually shows up. And then Surratt, I mean, maybe it's him, maybe it's, one of Brownlee or Irv Charles. I really didn't expect us to go outside our team for the tight end position. I thought we were going to bring back Fursker, someone that had worked, under Keith Carter in, I believe it was Tennessee, right? As far as Brendan Bates goes, I didn't know anything about him. I pulled up his stats from this past preseason. He was an undrafted free agent this past year. Played in 4 games, the Hall of Fame game plus 3 preseason games, had 7 targets with 6 receptions for a total of 100 yards. So I don't know. I mean, all his Pro Football Focus stuff is pretty good. It's all above 75 for the most part. Whether you subscribe to that or not, as far as it being good is whatever. But little surprised it's not Fursker, I think.
Yeah, so Bates had 6 catches on 7 targets for 100 yards in the preseason with Chicago. So that's really what we saw from him in the preseason. Undrafted free agent from Kentucky, a year younger than me, which is still mind-blowing to even be in this situation, that I'm older than players in football, but it's okay. So that's the latest. Now, I do want to get your guys' thoughts of the initial 53. Now, it's very interesting, right? Because, got to give a shout out to LaSalle. Member for 10 months. What's good, my people? Shout out to LaSalle. Awesome LA, baby. Give some dono hype and membership hype in the chat. We got King Lowski hyping up this roundtable, that this is the best roundtable. And I may agree, bias aside, this is the best one, right? Bias aside, this is the best one. This is the best one. No one can compete. So, Jake, your initial reaction to the 53-man roster. The Jets are keeping 3 undrafted free agents on the defensive line, including Tack McKinley. That was the biggest thing that I noticed. Obviously, we have to wait about the Assan Reddick situation. Jason Brownlee makes the team, or Charles makes the roster. Izzy is our running back 4. What's your biggest takeaways from the Jets' 53-man roster as they're trying to really finalize it this next week?
Yeah, the initial thing that stood out to me was the fact that they were keeping the 3 UDFA defensive linemen. Now, as we kind of just talked about, I wonder if all 3 of them are actually still on the team by the end of today with the waiver wire claim they just made. But that was a little surprising. Izzy making the team, I think, was the right decision. I didn't have him initially making the team a couple of weeks ago, but he basically did everything you could ask someone to do to try and earn a spot on the team. I mean, he averaged 6 yards a carry, scored 2 touchdowns, no drops, no penalties. He just looked really good. He brings a speed element that that room could certainly use, especially when you consider just how often running backs get injured. So I was happy to see him make the roster. The only thing I didn't like them trading Codrington. I had no issue if they just cut him, but why are we helping the Buffalo Bills? Like, if the division comes down to 1 game and Codrington helps Buffalo with a huge return, that's the difference in them winning or losing a game. Look, maybe that's just the inner Jet fan in me, like assuming the worst is going to happen. But that's the only thing I didn't like. Like, I just rather just cut them. I don't care about a 6th-round pick that they gained in 2026. It was a pick swap. So it wasn't even like they got a whole lot out of it where it's like they got a set draft pick. Like, they traded the 7th for a 6th in a draft 2 years from now. So that's the one thing I didn't like, but I'm also not going to sit here and do doom and gloom over, Brandon Codrington going to the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, that trade came out of nowhere. I mean, the good thing about it is we got something out of someone where we're going to cut inevitably. But the bad thing is it is going to a division rival that we're going to have to face twice a year. We found our undrafted free agent gem last year from a special teams returning standpoint in Xavier Gibson. The Jets felt like they found another one, of course, but they could not fit him on the roster, and now he goes to the Buffalo Bills. How about Joe Douglas with these undrafted free agents? I mean, is there another team that's doing what Joe Douglas is doing, Ryan? I mean, give me a break. Leonard Taylor now is my new guy that I'm excited to watch grow, including McGregor, of course. We'll see if Watts stays on this roster after the Reddick situation gets resolved or not resolved. So what's your thoughts of the initial roster and any other notes that you took away from it the most?
Yeah, it was. I like it. It's basically the same exact roster that I put out the few days earlier, with the exception of I didn't realize Reddick wouldn't count against the 53, and then Fotu and Yeboah wound up on the IR. So it was pretty as expected, I feel like, with the exception of the two tight ends being on there. Love that we were able to keep our young guys in McGregor and Taylor and Watts. I think for me, I was a little surprised at seeing 5 linebackers on there because I expect us to have a little bit more 3 safety sets with Ashton Davis coming into the box to guard tight ends as opposed to having a third linebacker out there, which is sort of why I kind of lean on Chaz Surratt being the first guy out. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the depth we have. Max Mitchell provides you a little bit of guard tackle hybridness. Xavier Newman and Wes Schweitzer both give you that guard center hybridness. So that it seems like they're definitely trying to have as many guys that can play multiple positions across the team on here. I mean, Isaiah Oliver, obviously safety and a little bit slot corner. Eccles, inside corner, outside corner, has a lot of flexibility. And I think Leonard Taylor is going to be really exciting because we have Javon Kinlaw and Solomon Thomas both on 1-year contracts. So if we can see him perform well, there's no reason he can't be a staple on this team moving into the future.
Speaking of staple of the team, LaSalle with a $2 super chat. Leonard Taylor is our future DT2. I guarantee it. You know what, LaSalle? I guarantee it too. I mean, if there's a guy that I may be a little delusional about the most on this team, it's Leonard Taylor. And I'm on record about it too. I mean, right when we signed him, I made a video. We just got the seal of the draft. And everyone was like, oh, Richie, you're hyping this guy up. Like, oh, you're too positive. I'm like, no. Like, there's something about this guy that I don't understand how he went undrafted, number one. And the fact that he's coming into the culture and the identity that the Jets have on defense that just breeds dogs, someone that has all the talent in the world that just didn't work out mentally and had a lazy issue that made him go undrafted. The Jets can unlock that dog with their coaching staff. And LaSalle thinks he's our DT2. We shall see. We got a super chat from Valen, a $10 super chat. Everyone get some Dono hype in the chat for Valen right now. $10. What's up, boys? When we will the Super Bowl this season, does Rodgers walk away or try to repeat? So when we win the Super Bowl, he's going to repeat, bro. He said, like, hypothetically, or what do you mean hypothetically? When we win the Super Bowl, that's the language we use here. Sorry, Dolphins and Bills fans. Patriots fans, give me a break. You have no chance. He's going to want to do it again. I think that's the reality. He says on like many podcasts this offseason that his goal is to win back-to-back and then drive off into the sunset in retirement. Now, is that ridiculous to even fathom my brain? Yeah, of course it is. But hey, you got to dream big. Appreciate the $10 big time. Matt, would you agree if the Jets when the Jets win it all, Rodgers is going to repeat or is he going to hang it up?
Ooh, I think that might be my one spot where he doesn't come back. I think if he has the opportunity to kind of just ride off into the sunset, a Super Bowl winner, like we saw from Peyton Manning in 2015. Now, granted, a little bit different. Peyton Manning was very obviously cooked that year and couldn't have come back and played the following season. I guess it kind of depends on how Rodgers looks, but assuming that he's, the Jets are winning a Super Bowl, I would imagine he's playing pretty well, but even still, I think that's a perfect way to just call it a career. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, although selfishly, I would like him for as long as he would want to play. So he could play forever and until the talent starts to go from my football team.
I love this hypothetical. I mean, what are we even talking about? Do you realize what we're even talking about? That's our expectations, Jake. I mean, come on now. This is getting ridiculous right now. Jets fans are expecting the most this season, and rightfully so. So when it comes to that defensive line with the Assan Reddick situation, what is going on? Do you guys have any insight of if Reddick is going to play this season? Is he going to be ready week 1? Is he going to be ready week 2? We heard from Coach Saleh talk about it. Jake, what's your latest on the Assan Reddick situation? Do you think there's going to be any type of resolve by the first game? Is he going to be playing with the Jets or not?
I'm at a point where I don't think he plays week 1. I'm not counting on it, but I have a funny feeling he might show up next week because what's the win if he continues to hold out? Like he needs to play to get paid, if not by the Jets, then by someone. Like his money for this year, he needs to make, because if he sits out and doesn't make his money, he might never see that money again, because who's going to pay a guy who didn't play a whole lot of games in 2024, big money going into their age 31 season? So like he's really doing himself a complete disservice by not showing up and playing. Like I think at this point, even though he's upset, he wants more money, whatever, like he's exhausted all his options. So I could definitely see him showing up like post Labor Day next week so he can get his game check for week 1. And, the message he sends to the Jets is you didn't pay me, so now I'm not out there for Monday Night Football. But like if that's what it takes to get him in, then fine. I mean, the entire situation to this point has been disappointing to say the least. But all the Jets could do from this point is how they've handled it. You're not going to trade him, and you have the leverage. So I think he shows up next week, but I'm not sure that means he necessarily plays week 1.
And Ryan, what's your confidence level in this Jets defensive line without Assan Reddick? Like with all the undrafted free agents that we're excited about, Jermaine Johnson, Will McDonald. I mean, it feels like every Jets fan hates Michael Clemens at this point. What's your thoughts of this defensive line without Reddick?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're a better team with him. I want to see him in uniform here, but I agree with Jake. I think we're probably going to wind up seeing him come in after Labor Day to the point where he doesn't miss a game check, but he isn't able to play in the upcoming game. So I don't know what he's doing. He's just getting some really bad advice. If Boy Green's tweet from yesterday is accurate, $4.77 million is what he's been fined when you incorporate training camp, missed preseason games, OTAs, and minicamp. That's a third of his contract. I mean, if he wasn't going to play for $15 million this year, how's he going to play for $10 million? Like, I don't really understand what his thought process was with this, because if I'm the Jets, I am not forgiving those. Obviously you can't forgive some of the fines, but they're not going to tack on anything extra onto his contract to make up for it at the detriment of their own salary cap. So I'm excited for the defensive lineman we've held on to, and maybe that provides a little bit more leverage for the Jets if they think that, hey, this pass rush can get to quarterbacks even without a stud like Assan Reddick.
Now, I want to go a different direction and ask you, Matt, something unrelated to the Reddick situation, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So there's somebody that made the roster that I expected to make the roster, and I had a lot of people saying he should make the roster, and there was another guy on the team that they felt like should have made it over him. And I want to get your thoughts, because I'm a proud member of the Jason Brownlee Hive. And I feel like the Hive is dead after this preseason. I mean, listen, he looked really good in joint practices and training camp, but in preseason, I think he underwhelmed after that really good touchdown he had in the first week. And some people saw enough from Brandon Smith, was his name, from UFL, that they wanted him to make the roster over Jason Brownlee. I personally never thought that was a possibility. I never really even fathomed that. So what's your thoughts of Jason Brownlee? Do you think that you're happy that he made the roster? Do you think they should have went with Smith over him? Do you think he showed more in the preseason? Or do you think the Jets were smart to hold on to Jason Brownlee? Or do you think he's still expendable with potentially, this waiver wire claim and Reddick still having to make the roster?
Richie, I am holding that stock with you. I have never wavered on my Jason Brownlee love. I wish I could quit him, but I just can't. It's something that I think he deserved to make the team. I look at him as a potential replacement for Alan Lazard after this year. Very similar stylistic player, big body, red zone kind of guy. And the Jets clearly going to want to get out of the contract after this season. So I'm hoping he could be a future number 4 receiver. I don't think he's ever going to be a starting outside receiver, but I like his upside. It can go up there and make some acrobatic plays. So I'm glad that he's stuck on the roster.
I am glad too. Is there any objections on the panel? Ryan, Jake, anti-Brownlee or what? What's here? Because I'm noticing in the Jets community, some people have turned on him.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm, down on Brownlee at all. I like him as a player. If he wasn't on the 53, I don't think I would have been too concerned about it. I still want us to add Devontae at the trade deadline, so I think ultimately he's not going to wind up being, on the roster at some point regardless. But yeah, him or Smith, I think would have been fine.
Great point there. Devontae Adams is your newest member of the New York Jets this upcoming season. Now, Jake, let's pivot, man. Week 1. What's your thoughts of the 49ers that's going on right now, right? The 49ers have a lot of things that just all of a sudden is like, Jets fans are like, ooh, okay, you got this holdout, you got this injury. What's your expectations of this week 1 matchup against the 49ers? I know that we still have some time to see if the Trent Williams thing gets resolved. Is Ayuk playing? Is McCaffrey playing? What's your thoughts of this week 1 matchup with everything going on with the 49ers right now?
Real quick, Richie, because it happened as you were talking there. The Jets just signed former Viking safety Lewis Cine.
Oh, did we?
Or Lewis Cine, I should say, not Luis. Lewis Cine. They just added him.
Oh, that's breaking. That's big.
Yeah.
Gotta think Oliver's gone, right? at that point.
Well,
Maybe.
thank you so much.
It's not going to be
Jake
Ashton.
Asman for breaking
I don't think it's
this
going to be
news.
Clark or Adams.
Wow. So here is the breaking news, folks. I'm going to put it on the screen so you guys can see it. I think it was Tom Pelissero was first, or who was first? Well, that's who I have on my screen, so that's who's going to get the reality. So Tom Pelissero has tweeted that the New York Jets have officially signed him to the practice squad. All right. So he did not get claimed. That's the big difference. He is signed to the practice squad. I think this is a really good move, man. Former first-round pick. I mean, the Jets know how to, develop some talent. This is a guy that when he got released, a lot of Jets fans were, in my mentions personally, be like, yo, should the Jets get him? Should the Jets get him? I said, why not? Absolutely. I mean, Matt, what's your thoughts of this news?
Yeah, I mean, former first-round pick. He obviously had the talent to go early in a draft. Unfortunately for him, it's been injuries that have held him back. So kind of just wondering how healthy he is at this point. And clearly, starting with the practice squad, I think they could try to ramp him up a little bit. And it doesn't hurt to take a flyer on a guy like this who's clearly talented, but just hasn't had, luck go in his favor on the injury front. So I'm a little bit surprised. I didn't think they would pull the trigger on a move like this, but I'm excited about it. I think it has potential upside here.
How about you, Ryan? How do you feel about this move?
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. I guess it probably doesn't come into play because of the injury history and stuff. But I would think since he was claimed by the Jets, we wind up inheriting his contract. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, which means we would still have the option to hit him with the 5th-year option 2 years or after the season. I could be wrong.
It's the practice squad, though. Is that different?
Yeah, but I think when you
you're the
claim
contract
someone,
guru. I don't
even off the
challenge
practice squad, I think you still inherit their contract because it's on waivers. It's not like he cleared, unless he cleared waivers and then we signed him to a new practice squad deal.
Well, it says they signed him, right? So not that they claimed him. So I guess he passed through waivers and they signed him.
So then, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's a good swing. Former first-round pick from Georgia. You're getting a player from the best defense in college football. So at the very least, it's a worthwhile swing. And I would think that Oliver would be the potential bubble player here if Cine can actually show out and stay healthy.
So why do you think the Vikings got rid of him? I mean, do we know anything about what went wrong? I mean, the Vikings are in a very interesting turmoil right now. Like, I'll be honest, I'm not really following Minnesota Vikings news or anything like that. Like, do they have a loaded secondary? Why did they move on from a first-round pick they drafted 2 years ago? Does anybody know?
I think, was their coach there at that point? I don't think this regime was the one that drafted him.
Yeah, they got Brian Flores in the building last year, right? Was his first year? So you're right. So, I mean, I guess he just didn't really live up to the expectations. This was a guy that a lot of Jets fans I remember pre-draft was in love with. So I think that's why Jets fans are coming around and be like, oh, this is a guy that we all studied and did mock drafts with him. And now we got him on the practice squad. So, hey, you never know. The Jets know how to find some talent in the waiver wire and on the practice squad. So maybe this is the next gem that the Jets find, or he doesn't even make the roster ever. You never know, right? You never know. So shout out to Tom Pelissero for the news. And Jordan Schultz, I think, also was first on the news. A lot of people claiming it. So the Jets are going to fill out their practice squad throughout the day and tomorrow, and we'll get a good idea of who is on the practice squad. Who do you guys think else has a chance to make this practice squad? Like Zach Kuntz, I don't think he even deserves to be on the practice squad, if I'm being honest, man. I mean, that guy, no offense, I don't want to get mean, but, bro, I don't think I saw one.
Gotta tell you right now, guys.
I'm trying to be nice here, Ryan, but you need to give him the truth. Give him the raw truth about Zach Kuntz, because I was waiting for something positive. I don't think I saw one positive thing from this guy.
It's like, honestly, the only thing positive I heard about him was Aaron Rodgers saying, wow, on the scout team defense or offense or whatever, he was pretty solid. Outside of that, just a RAS score.
His one moment last year where he scored the touchdown in the preseason game, like Rodgers immediately pointed out he ran the wrong route on the play.
Yeah.
Like even when he scored a touchdown, he didn't even do that right.
Oh, dude. Brutal stuff. I did want to get your thoughts of the Jets running back position, because I find it hilarious. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but some NFL fan bases, more particularly the Dallas Cowboys, are calling us out for hoarding running backs. They wanted Izzy so bad. my mentions was filled with Cowboys fans and just waiting for Izzy to get cut.
Dude,
And
they
I'm
got
like,
our sloppy seconds in Dalvin Cook.
yeah, they got Dalvin. There you go. There's your former Jet. Like, shout out to Jay Tuck, who's the Cowboys representative for the NFC East Roundtable. He just kept manifesting Izzy to get cut by the Jets. And I kept telling him on Twitter, I'm like, bro, he ain't going nowhere. He's our running back 4. When he had that big touchdown run against the Giants, Cowboys fans were like, oh, future Cowboy. I'm like, yo, nope. And the Jets keep him. So I just find it funny. And people are like, yo, the Jets are hoarding running backs like it's fantasy football. This is unfair. What's your guys' thoughts of that? Because I feel like even when the Jets drafted Braylon Allen, NFL fans were like, what? Why are the Jets drafting Braylon Allen? We needed him to be our bell cow. Like, is it a luxury now that we have such a deep running back room that's led by a guy that we're expecting to be one of the league's best in Breece Hall? So let me know your thoughts of that, Matt.
Yeah, I am very excited for Breece Hall this year. Obviously, another year removed from the injury. And Izzy making it is exciting. I'm glad for him because I thought he had a really good preseason. I just wonder how often he's actually going to be active on game days. I guess it's kind of just insurance for now. Like if there is an injury to one of the 3 guys in front of him, then I think that would get him on the field. But I just wonder how many carries there are to go around with, especially the top 2. Breece is going to be a bell cow, as we know, but I think Braylon Allen really established himself as the clear-cut number 2. So for Isaiah Davis as the 3 and then Izzy as the 4, I'm kind of just wondering how many opportunities they're going to be. And he did make the initial 53, but who knows? Maybe after some of these moves, the Jets end up having to cut him and move on.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting debate right now with these running backs. Izzy really needed a big game on Saturday, and he came through. I definitely don't expect him to be active on game days, but the Jets usually run with 4 running backs, and they're running with 4 this upcoming season. Ryan, what's your expectation for this running back room, and more particularly, connecting with our brand-new offensive line? How do you think this run attack is going to look with this running back room?
Yeah, I think you can see the shift in the Jets mentality from maybe wanting to have a little bit more of a pass-focused offense last year, or maybe just not achieving the running-focused offense that they wanted to last year with Dalvin Cook. So you draft 2 running backs in Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis, and then you push your 5th round pick and Izzy down the depth chart. We're loaded. It's really a nice thing to have. Not to mention even Braylon Allen's 20 years old. He's not going to be 21 till we're going to the Super Bowl this year, and he's gonna have his first legal drink after the championship game. It's gonna be perfect. But
dude, I love that,
dude. But yeah, dude, I love the running back room. I honestly, a few weeks ago, I didn't think Izzy was gonna make the roster. I thought Tariq Cohen was gonna, supplant him. But once Cohen retired, it just sort of made sense. And I agree with Matt. I don't think we're gonna see Izzy active too frequently on game day. But always good to have a game-breaking speed type running back in the bullpen.
Jake, any last thoughts of, and shout out to Mr. Bonesy in the chat, any last thoughts of the running back room and your expectations with this unit, with the offensive line and Aaron Rodgers and Hackett trying to really ground and pound the rock with these guys?
It makes sense to be run heavy, especially early. I mean, Breece might be the best player on the team when it's all said and done. Like, that's how special he is. I got a fantasy draft tonight, 3rd pick, and I'm hoping Breece is there at 3 so I could take him. So, that's how highly regarded I think of him from that perspective. But I mean, Izzy deserved to make this team, and he plays a position where there's always injuries, right? Breece got hurt his rookie year, as we were just alluding to. So I'm glad he's on the team. I think he's earned a spot. I agree with what was already said. I don't know how many times he'll actually be on the game day 46, unless there's some injuries, but there's usually injuries to that position. So I'm glad, and they got to run the ball. I mean, as much as we want Aaron to be Aaron, and he will be at times, this should be an offense that goes through Breece more times than not. Basically, Breece Hall could be, Terrell Davis to John Elway, right? Like, that's the comp, I think, that you have here. So I'm excited to see what they could do. The way they use Breece, even in some of the practices that we've been at, lining him up on the outside, using him in the red zone. I mean, he's probably their 2nd best receiver on the team, if you think about it. So if he gets hurt, though, you're going to need depth. And obviously, Izzy, I think, earned a spot.
And
yeah,
Breece
I agree.
Currently plus 1,400 for Offensive Player of the Year, if you want to throw some cheddar on that over on BetUS.
Ryan just knows where we're headed here, and I don't know if you've been watching Jets media, Ryan, but I'm screaming to everybody to do that. I put my money on Breece to win Offensive Player of the Year, okay? I did it. And also, if you guys did not know this already, I mean, it's been everywhere, all across social media. The Jets are officially your favorite to win the AFC East. Haha, what's good, AFC East Roundtable? We are the betting favorite. And I predicted this back in March, and here we are. All right. Look at Jake Azar with the cash. Look, that's all the money Jake's putting on BetUS to cash out of the Breece Hall. Oh my God, look at that. That's real money, folks.
Sorry, I'm on the money phone, guys. I'm placing the Jets to win the AFC East.
Plus 170 on BetUS Sportsbook, folks. If you want to sign up for BetUS, it is the #1 online sportsbook in the world. All right. You guys get a 125% sign up bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. All you guys got to do is click the link in the description, open up your BetUS account. You get 10% gambler's insurance. You got a 24/7-hour customer service option. You got 24-hour payouts. They also have a special, assistant that you guys can call them, be like, hey, this is my account number. I want to bet the house on the Jets to win this division. You can place your bets that way. So the Jets are at plus 170 to win the AFC East. And now that Ryan talked about Breece Hall winning Offensive Player of the Year, I mean, Ryan, you are speaking my language. Like, I literally have been saying that this is the bet that I'm making. If there's one Jets future bet that I like the most, it's Breece Hall to win Offensive Player of the Year. So let's go check out the updated odds. We got Breece Hall.
That's Rookie of the Year.
This is Rookie of the Year. Comeback. By the way, Rodgers is your favorite to win Comeback Player of the Year.
Yep.
Offensive Player of the Year. Here we go. Breece. Plus 1,400, folks. Plus 1,400. I mean, the only people that are ahead of him is Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, and Christian McCaffrey. And then Breece is at plus 14. Garrett Wilson at plus 2,500. Matt, do you think there is a world where Breece can really contend for this Offensive Player of the Year award?
Yes, very much so, actually. I know a lot of people are buying the Garrett Wilson stock, and I am too. I'm not down on Garrett Wilson by any stretch. I just think for me, the Jets offense is really going to run through Breece Hall in both the rushing and passing game. Jake mentioned it, but I think it's the truth. I think he'll be second on the team in receptions behind Garrett Wilson. I really think he could be up 1,900 plus all-purpose yards, maybe close to 2,000 when you add the rushing and receiving. So I think he's due for an absolutely monster season. And at that price, how do you not sprinkle a little bit of money on that? I'm not saying you don't got to go a full unit on a plus 1,400 play here, but I think it's worth throwing a little something on.
Oh, BetUS knows too, Matt. Look, I just tried to put 100 on it, and they're like, no. This is gonna win, so you can only put 50 on it. Okay, so
that must have changed because I have $100 on it right now.
Yeah, so the max right now is at $50. The book's like, oh my God, the Jets and Breece Hall about to win this. So $50 wins you $700. I'll be putting my bet right here live. Okay, so put my money where my mouth is. All right, confirm $50 will win me $700 on BetUS. So, folks, click the link, open up your BetUS account. $50 to win $700 for Breece Hall to win Offensive Player of the Year. We're counting on you, Breece. Shout out to BetUS for powering today's show. Now, got to give a shout out to Jet It Out for a $5 super chat. Got a AFC East membership at work. Let's go, fellas. Richie, get Colby tonight for that rant. You take care of TD. Going to be a great year, 14-3. Yeah, last week on the AFC East Roundtable, I was late. I had something going on personally, so I was not there for the first hour. So it was just TD Finstock, Dan Mitchell, and Colby, Patriots Global. And the whole show for the first hour was them just ripping apart the Jets because I wasn't there. And they were saying nonsense, just pure nonsense. I went to rewatch it. I'm like, you guys would never say this if I was on the show. Like, what are you guys talking about? So that's what he wants me to do, is put them in their place tonight. So I guess I got to do that. And congratulations on the membership, man. We had a generous Italian stallion come out here and gift you a membership. So appreciate you. Appreciate that. Speaking of the AFC East, let's pivot this a little bit to the AFC East. So you saw on BetUS, the Jets are the betting favorite now. The Bills are right behind the Jets at 2, and the Dolphins are in at 3, right? Mike White is an interesting AFC East topic right now. The Miami Dolphins cut Mike White, and the Buffalo Bills signed him to the practice squad. So, Jake, what's your latest thoughts? The Jets becoming the betting favorite to win the AFC East. I know that we've talked about the Bills and the Dolphins in the past, but now that we're like right here at the start of the season, how do you think this AFC East division is going to really finish out based off preseason training camp heading into week 1?
I do think the Jets are the best team in the AFC East. Now, we understand when you talk about the Jets, the caveat is health this, health that. I get it. I understand that. But just from a talent perspective, I think the Jets have gotten a lot better this offseason. And if they had done nothing other than, hey, Aaron Rodgers is back at quarterback instead of a traffic cone for 17 games, you have a great chance to be a lot better than 7-10. I don't think Buffalo has gotten better this offseason. I don't think Miami has gotten better this offseason. They're still very good teams, but I'm not going to sit here and act like, the moves they made have made them better. I have major questions about that. Plus, Buffalo now dealing with the Milano injury before the year even starts. That's a big blow for them defensively. So the Jets certainly have their own questions, but I do think Aaron Rodgers will be out there for 15 or 16 games this season. I think he'll play like a top 10 quarterback, and that plus this defense, to me, is good enough to be AFC East champion. So I have the Jets winning the division, followed by the Bills and the Dolphins, but I have all three as playoff teams.
All three as playoff teams. Bold prediction. Love that. Folks, do us a favor. We're at 90 likes. Let's get this to over 100 likes. And then I also have to say, thank you so much because we just hit 15K subs on the AFC East Roundtable. So shout out to the chat. I'll let them know that the Jets Roundtable was the one to get us over the hump to hit that 15K sub goal. So thank you guys so much for all the support on the AFC East Roundtable. 15,000 subs. Huge milestone here on the channel. Thank you guys. I got to get my soundboard. I left it at my old home, so I'm still setting up the new studio. So thank you, Ryan, for that. Felix with a $10 super chat. What's up, fellas? Jets top 7 to 10 offense, top 3 to 5 defense, MVP Rodgers, offense player of the year Hall, record 15-2. Okay. Somebody tell me that this is going to happen before I just believing this, Matt. I mean, Matt, help me with this super chat because this is where my head's at.
Hey, Richie, is this show also sponsored by Chubby's? Because I could tell you right now, this could be a segment on that.
Yeah, my goodness, I might have to change my pants if this is the case for this season. I'm not quite at 15-2, but I hope that Felix is
hater,
right.
Matt. What do you mean you're not at 15-2?
I'm a Jets hater. Negative Nancy. I know Jake was saying his order for the division. I think the Jets win the division. I got the Jets at 11 wins, the Dolphins in second at 10 wins, and the Bills in third at 9, all three playoff teams. But hell, I hope Felix is right. I hope they go 15-2, sweep the division, and go make a run to the Super Bowl because that's a hell of a lot more fun than an 11-6 season.
I will say this, Felix, I think you have every right to dream as big as you possibly can this season, with some grain of salt of knowing that, everything needs to go smoothly for this to actually happen. But I don't think any NFL fan or any AFC East rival fan has the right to tell us Jets fans to not be excited. And I'm sick of people telling us that we're delusional, we're this. And that's what they were doing last week. They weren't talking shit about the Jets, excuse my language. They were talking crap about us fans. That's where it hurt me in the heart. You're talking about us Jets fans because they're so scared of us because we're passionate, we're going crazy, and they were talking so down on the Jets fan base when I wasn't there. Now I will be there tonight to put them in their place because we have the best fan base on the face of the planet. And that's not biased. Boba Jet with the $5. Could we rename the show to the Jets Mount Rushmore Roundtable?
Ooh.
You know what? I like that. We got to. Should we make the thumbnail that graphic of us, our four heads on the Mount Rushmore?
On Mount Rushmore? That's funny.
Who would be who? We got
God.
Lincoln, Washington.
I'll let the chat decide that one.
Yeah.
Who's on? It's Lincoln. It's Washington. It's
Jefferson and
Teddy Roosevelt, right?
Teddy,
no, Aaron
yeah.
Rodgers is the fourth. Boba Jet also says we signed Lewis Cine, safety to the practice squad. Great show, guys. Let's go Jets. Yeah, so if you're just tuning into the live show, guys, we started the show with the breaking news of the guy that we signed to the waivers, the tight end from the Bears, and then midway through the show, we reacted to the live news of us bringing in Lewis Cine. So if you guys want to go check out reactions to that, just rewind the show a little bit. Boba Jet, thank you so much for the super chat. Matt, what is your thoughts of the AFC East? We're so close to the season, right? Did I already ask you this?
I gave mine. Ask Ryan.
You already did. Ryan, sorry. Yeah. Sorry, my mind is delusional with Super Bowl aspirations. So
yeah, the 15-2 broke our brain a little bit from
that
super chat. I haven't
Ryan,
recovered either.
Give your AFC East prediction.
Yeah, AFC East wise, I definitely think we're the best roster as long as we can stay healthy. I think that's, with any team to have a shot, you gotta factor in health. But look, we beat the Bills the last 2 years with Zach Wilson at quarterback. I am not concerned about the Bills at all. Same with the Patriots. The Dolphins, while I think their offensive lines and defensive lines have taken a step back, they're still so quick. And, that could neutralize our pass rush. Tua getting the ball out really fast does concern me, but at the same time, we're playing them so late in the season, and they're coming to MetLife in January, and we know how they perform in the cold. So by and large, I do think it's the Jets division to win, and as long as we take care of business, heck, we're the favorites in 15 of 17 games. So 15-2 isn't that far-fetched, Felix.
You guys are really making me feel crazy right now. We hit over 100 likes. We got 230 live watchers, guys. We're open this up to a call-in. Okay, we're going to open this up to a call-in Q&A now. Want to give a shout-out to everybody tuning in. I want this Jets Roundtable to be an opportunity for you guys to come on here and talk some ball with this panel. So we're going to open this up for a call-in show and have you guys come on in and talk some ball with these guys before we wrap things up. Also want to remind you folks that the Jets Roundtable will be live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. all season long, and expect, these four to be there when they can. All right, so we're going to be here. Whoever can make it will make it. Whoever can't, they can't. It's all good because the Jets Roundtable is going to be a season-long show, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be recapping the last week in the middle of the season. We're going to be previewing the weeks to come. So it's going to be an exciting time on the Jets Roundtable. Last year was the first time we launched this show, and we're excited to have a consistent time slot. Mark your calendars, folks. Wednesdays, 1 p.m., Jets Roundtable. Let's go. So we got the call-in show. Let's get it. Let's get it. Come on in, folks. The link is now pinned at the top of the chat. While we wait for the call-in show, we do have Roundtable sports events that I want to remind you guys about. We are going Week 6, Jets, Bills, Monday Night Football, MetLife Stadium. Tickets are available in the description. Also, we're going to Miami for the Jets-Dolphins game, and Jake Asman will be there for that. So
yeah,
here
baby.
is a little promo if you guys don't know about the AFC East Roundtable events. Roundtable Sports is throwing 2 huge events this 2024 NFL season. Come join me, Richie from Jets Media, TD Finns Talk, Dan Mitchell, and Patriots Global for an unforgettable game day experience. Week 6, Monday Night Football, Bills vs. Jets at MetLife Stadium. Your ticket comes with an all-inclusive tailgate party hosted by Gotham City Crew, food, drinks, live DJ, and more. Also, come witness the AFC East Roundtable live in-person show from the tailgate. And last but not least, you will get access to the MetLife Stadium's turf for the pregame and witness the national anthem before primetime football kicks off. Our second event this year is going to be in Miami for the first time. Week 14, New York Jets versus the Miami Dolphins. We locked down our own private corner terrace at Hard Rock Stadium, exclusive for our group. Saturday night, join us at Miller's Ale House for an awesome meet and greet. Jake Asman will be a special guest for this event. Email us at afceastroundtable@gmail.com for more information on how to secure your tickets. Link in the description, folks, to sign up to come to the Jets Roundtable events. All right, Matt and Ryan, you guys are, of course, welcome to come too, man. I mean, I know it's Miami. I know it's a big commitment.
I've got family in Fort Lauderdale, so I'm not too far from there.
Ryan's coming. I already committed him. No turning back now, Ryan. He has family there. He's coming through. All right. So let me know if you guys want to come through. The link is not working, apparently. Let me re-put it in.
I want to make a mention real quick. I don't know if you guys saw this yesterday. Rappaport was talking about how private equity firms can now buy up to 10% of a team, which I feel like is going to be a really wild swing for potential contracts. The biggest issue in terms of contracts right now, and particularly with the Jets coming up with the draft class, like the 2022 class coming up for contracts, is when you sign massive deals, the guaranteed money immediately has to go into escrow. So if Sauce signs $100-some-odd million deal with $75-100 million guaranteed, even though his cap hit for year one might be $10-15 million, that $100 million would have to go fully into escrow. So having a 10% influx of cash come into the team allows the ownership group to be able to pay out that money and structure contracts in a way that is very difficult. It's a silly rule dating back to when the NFL didn't have as much money coming in. So the idea was, hey, this guaranteed money has to be there in the future. Now the league is making so much money, it's kind of an out-of-date rule, and I think they're using it more so to try and keep player contracts slightly lower as the excuse of like, oh, the owner can't dish out that much guaranteed money all at once. But it's a very interesting thing where you could see potential, improvements to stadiums as well.
Wow. That is very interesting, Ryan. I had no idea that was a thing.
I'm a nerd for contracts, so I apologize.
Yeah, really. I mean, if I ever have a question about contracts, I'm calling Ryan. Calling Ryan immediately. Now, unfortunately, the call-in link is broke. I don't know what the issue is. I sent the link in 3 times in the chat. How do I fix it? What's going on here?
I just clicked it to see for myself.
Yeah, let me in.
Working.
So apparently it's broken on the chat perspective. I mean, we got a second version of Jake Asman in here.
Whoa, hey now.
It's working for Jake. I don't know, folks. Come on, make it work. I'm sorry if it's not working. I don't know what the issue is. So we're going to finish it off with the call-in. So if you want to try to make it work, let's make it work. We got some super chats to get through. Thank you guys for the super chats, man. We got Felix with another $10. This is if we are all healthy, fellas. We have way too much talent to not go and destroy teams this year. I love that word. Let's destroy teams. Let's not beat them. Let's destroy them. Also, just think if we add Adams at the trade deadline.
The Raiders stink. It could happen.
Oh, my God. I really think that's going to happen, man. I'm convinced. Someone's got to
1 year, $8 million by that point, or $9 million, whatever the contract would wind up being.
Oh, come on, Ryan. Are you kidding me? You're telling me that we can get him for a 1 year, $8 million at that point?
Yeah, because it's $17.5 million is what he's getting paid this year. So whatever week of the season, divide that contract by 17 games, and you cut off however many games he didn't play for us. So then you'd wind up getting him for that deal. And then obviously his cap hits next year are 36 and like 37 million. So realistically, it's a 1 year deal unless they renegotiate it coming into the, from that trade, which I think they would. I think they would probably do a 2 year deal with Rodgers.
Damn. That is very intriguing. Now I'm even convinced more that's inevitably going to happen. But again, the only way it happens is one thing, and one thing only. The Raiders need to be willing to trade him because the Jets' interest is there. That's not a secret. It's the Raiders who held things up last year. Here for the memes, $2. Sup, dogs? Who's ready for week 1 predictions? All right. I was going to save next week's Jets Roundtable for the predictions, but here for the memes. He wants it now. Who's winning the game? Jets 49ers. I got to hear from one of you guys.
Oh, dude. Jets. No Trent Williams or rusty Trent Williams coming with this pass rush. Forget it. Purdy's going to be flustered.
Purdy's going to be running for his life.
I heard he's going to die.
Let's go. All right. That's all the prediction I need to hear. Steven NYC with a $10 super chat. Love seeing my favorite Jet family members all together. Thanks for all you do for all of us all year long. Will be at Miami game in December. Also home opener, etc. Stay positive. Go Jets. Steven NYC. Let's go. Are you coming to the Roundtable event, Steven? Did you buy the tickets through us, or are you going to be there just separate? Because I would hopefully love to see you guys there because the Roundtable event's going to be a lot of fun. We have a whole weekend planned in Miami. So definitely consider that. Steven, thank you for the $10 super chat, bro. Felix comes in with the $5. I used to live in Florida. My mom and dad are still there. I'll be making that trip, fellas. Felix, let's freaking go. We got like 40 tickets left for that event. So plenty of tickets remaining. We have a long way until that game, obviously, in December. So the tickets are in the link in the description, folks, if you want to go check that out. Thank you for the $5 again, Felix. We got another super chat from Iguap. What's up, fellas? Just want to say, Ryan, thank you for those practice tickets. And Richie, how much are the tickets that are left? I want to grab one. Go Jets. So the price point on the Jets Bills event is $300. The Jets Dolphins event in Miami is $280. The tickets are in the description, folks. I will link it in the chat so you guys can have more access to it if you guys don't know where the description is. But I'll link it real quick for you guys so you have some easier access. Remember, there's 2 Roundtable events going on, Jets Bills, Monday Night Football, and then Jets Dolphins in Miami. So we hope to see you guys there. The Jets-Bills tickets are limited more. There's like 18 or 17 tickets left for that one. So definitely go get your tickets now. They're basically available until they sell out. And if also any questions about these events, please do not hesitate to reach out to me via email, reach out to me via any service. Last super chat. Let's get into some call-ins before we wrap things up. Ryan should be a call girl with all the sexy talk. All right.
Love you, Yuka.
Ryan's got a new career path.
Oh no!
After the Jets, win the Super Bowl.
OnlyFans, talking Jets membership, baby.
Woo! Hey, we should consider opening up an OnlyFans. You know that OnlyFans was originally like a Patreon service. That's
Was
how
it
it was
what?
created, I believe.
That's what it's supposed to be used for.
It was supposed to be used for like a Patreon, and then, I mean, we don't got to go down that road, but it's an interesting story there.
What is it?
Yeah, what's OnlyFans, Jake?
Yeah.
Johnny boy is here.
Hey.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Johnny?
Hey, what up, Richie? What's up, Matt? What's up, Ryan? What up, Jake?
How you doing, bro?
Oh, living the dream over here, just one baby at a time, as they say.
Yes, sir.
But hey, I had a quick question for you guys, man. With the Izzy stuff, right? And I just want to throw this out. Do you guys think that he might be trade bait for us later on this season within itself? Because, the whole Dallas Cowboys conversation, and if essentially we would have let him go, we would have got him for nothing. Just wanted to get you guys' take in regards to the whole Izzy, because I don't see where he fits in that running back room, if that makes any sense of what I just said.
Thank you, Johnny, for the call. We appreciate you, man. Jake, what's your thoughts of his question?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just goes back to the fact they just wanted depth there, right? There's injuries all the time. We've seen players in that room get hurt the last couple of years. I think it comes back to that. Like they truly took the best 53. It feels like with that type of decision.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because the Izzy situation is people can definitely start calling the Jets if they're desperate for running backs. Like say the running back room is fully healthy in week 6, for example, and Izzy's been a healthy scratch for 6 straight games, and there's a team out there that's desperate for a running back, and they call for Izzy, and like, Ryan, would you want to trade Izzy at that point?
Yeah, I mean, heck, if that Pro Football Network article was any good, if there was credibility to it, they're saying, a 4th round pick or better. And if I could have gotten a 4th round pick or better for Izzy, I probably would have done the trade already. If you tell me a team's a little bit more under the gun and we just have Izzy sitting as our, inactive running back week after week, I'd absolutely trade him.
How about you, Matt?
Yeah, I would really consider it just because, as we've mentioned here a few times, most weeks probably not going to be active. It's rare that you have all 4 running backs active. And I think they changed stylistically how they're going to run. And it became obvious when they drafted Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis and the offensive linemen that they brought in here that they're changing things up. And I don't know how well Izzy fits with that. Again, he was good in the preseason. I'm happy for him. He's here now, but I'm not necessarily convinced that he's going to be here all 17 weeks. And I mean, I get it. The Cowboys brought in Dalvin Cook. If it was 2019, they'd have the best running back room in the NFL. But unfortunately, Ezekiel Elliott and Dalvin Cook in the big 2024 doesn't really do it for me or for them, I'm sure, too. So I wouldn't be surprised if they came calling for one of the Jets backs. And I think Izzy would make the most sense.
What a luxury to have that we're the team that people are like wanting our players. I mean, I want to remind everybody that we were not always this way. Just saying. JT!
Yo, how we
Mr.
doing today,
JT,
gents?
one of those loyal followers of Roundtable Sports. What's up, man?
Trying week 6. Gonna be a blast. You mentioned it before. Be there
sir.
or be squared.
Monday night, baby. See you there.
We're gonna kick the shins out of the Bills. Let's
we
go.
own the Bills at MetLife. Let's be honest.
Oh, we do. Oh, we do. And you know what? We're gonna own San Fran in San Fran week 1 too.
Oh.
All of their holdouts, their injuries, contract disputes, they're headed down a bad path. And my dad, who is a Niners fan, is also very worried about the Madden curse, Super Bowl hangover, all of that hanging over, and it's starting. So week 1 could be very, very fun. As you all know, I'm going to be one of those few green jerseys in a sea of red. I think I've mentioned it everywhere at this point. I can't wait. We're going to come out of there with a win.
Let's go, JT. Represent us well over there on the West Coast, man. That is awesome. And just tell your dad apologies after what we do on Monday night.
Oh, don't worry. I will. I'll give him a nice little hug on the ride home back to the hotel.
I love it. JT, appreciate you, brother. Thanks for the call, man. JT doing his thing out there. I love the green screen background, a virtual background of MetLife. All right, we got 2 more callers before we wrap things up. LaSalle is in the house.
Okay, 2 questions. I have
Let's
2
go.
questions. The first one, what is you guys' AFC East prediction?
We did talk about that already, LaSalle, but
Jets.
Okay, I didn't hear it. So.
Jets. We're going to pick you know who we're going to pick, LaSalle? Whoever's the favorite to win it. I think we're going to go safe here. We're going to go safe. Whoever's the betting favorite, we're going to pick.
Okay, then go for the betting. Okay, and then the second one, when are you going to do that only call-in show? When are you guys gonna actually do it? Because I heard about it last week, so I wanted to know when it's actually gonna happen.
Yeah, so still in the works right now. We got to figure stuff out. I don't know. Maybe we'll get more clarity on it and announce it for tonight's roundtable, LaSalle, because there's a lot going on behind the scenes at Roundtable Sports and try to figure out where the shows are going to be. So when we officially release that information, you'll be first to know via Patreon and all that.
Okay, that's all I got. Peace out, everybody. Yeah.
All right, undercover Bills fans in the chat. What's good, bro?
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, I'm not going to be too hard on you guys today. I did want to troll, but I actually have a serious question.
Let's hear
I
it.
understand that you guys are pretty, as far as Jets fans goes, you guys are pretty realistic and optimistic. But I'd like to hear, what do you guys feel like what's the under for the Jets? Like, what's the low? Not like what's the worst record you guys could have, but what's something that's like just not overly just enthusiastic, a record for the Jets? I just kind of want to hear some perspective here, if you guys can give me that.
Who wants to answer this one?
Like
think
9-8. 9-8 missing the
say.
playoffs. Like, they won 7 games the last 2 years with, objectively speaking, by far and away the worst quarterback play in the NFL. So our expectation is if they just get average quarterback play, they're probably around a 10-win team. So 9-8 and missing the playoffs would be, to me, the floor for this team.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yep.
Wow. All right, then. Yeah, I mean, you guys are awesome to listen to. Love you guys.
Thank you, bro. We appreciate the call. And this is what I like. We want the Jets Roundtable to have more Bills fans, Dolphins fans. Don't be shy to call in. Very respectful Bills fan right there. This is the Jets Roundtable, but we want some other fan bases to come on and talk their you-know-what. And we have the last caller, the legend, the myth himself, King Lewis.
Oh, there he is.
AFC East Roundtable. Gentlemen, how we doing? I know we wasn't going to end this show with no damn Bill fan, okay? Let's be clear, okay? Hey, Richie, I hope y'all having call-ins tonight, baby, because I got a lot to say, okay? Yeah, because it was very disrespectful having them guys talk Jets, a sucker duck Patriot fan, a low-down Jill fan, and a fraud fish fan, okay? Let's be clear, baby. Week 1 is coming, and we're going to put a lot of teams on notice, okay? Let's be clear. Y'all always talk about the Jets, the injuries, the all of this. Baby, the 53 is together. And we all in agreement that this is a Super Bowl contending roster. Can we all be in agreement to that? Okay? Absolutely. So at the end of the day, y'all could talk about the injuries and all of this, but on that other side over there out west, y'all got a lot of problems. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all not beating us without Trent Williams. Okay? If that man ain't on the field, the pass rush will be relentless. Okay? Let's be clear. Cue Ball was going to eat regardless, but he's definitely going to eat because y'all going to have to triple team him. Okay? Y'all not beating us without no Trent Williams. And you better have C-Mac on some steroids or you better shoot him up because I'm telling you, the Jets is coming, baby. Jets!
Let's go. King Lowski finishing it up the best way you can do it, man. Bow down to the king, everybody. Everybody spam the crown emojis in the chat for King Lowski right now. And I guarantee you do not want to miss his call-in tonight on the AFC East Roundtable. I don't know if you guys have noticed or ever watched his call-ins, but King Lowski says how many words to me when he calls into the AFC East Roundtable? 0. He spends all of his energy on... He has something to say of all 3. He says he gets the pleasantries out the way, and then he just goes in on them, and I cannot wait to see it tonight. So stay tuned for the AFC East Roundtable. Tonight, we're going to have a 15,000 subscriber celebration on the show tonight, 8 p.m. EST, folks. That's going to wrap up the Jets Roundtable. Let's hear from Matt and Ryan and Jake before we wrap things up. Starting off with you, Matt.
Yeah, excited for the regular season right around the corner. Daily coverage over on Matt O'Leary NY, so make sure to subscribe over there. But pumped up to be doing this with you guys every Wednesday.
Hell yeah, baby. Wednesdays, 1 p.m. Jets Roundtable. Ryan, how about you, bro?
Hell yeah. Love talking ball with you guys. Glad I was able to hop on. If you guys want to head over to Jets Talk 24/7, give me a follow. Greatly appreciate it. I put out the every throw from Aaron Rodgers video each week. So if you're interested in seeing what the Jets look like without having to go through an entire recap, that is a nice little video to watch.
You're doing the work that we all needed. We never knew we needed, Ryan. We appreciate you. And also stay tuned because there may or may not be a special show announced on Roundtable Sports Network that Ryan is hosting and producing himself. Stay tuned. If you were here with the launch of Roundtable Sports, you may have an idea of what it is. So stay tuned for that announcement after we figure out the details. Jake, how about you, brother? Any final words?
Daily content. And if you're a Jet fan, I am hosting a watch party for week 1 and week 2. Week 1's going to be insane. There's already 200 RSVPs, and we're expecting probably closer to 400 people for the Niners game on Monday night. It is at T Squared Social in Midtown Manhattan, so it's easy to get to. If you take the train to Grand Central, it's 2 minutes from there. So if you're coming from Long Island or Westchester, Connecticut, Jersey, or you live in the city, it's as convenient of a spot as it's going to get. So it's going to be nuts, man. We'll do that. We'll do that for Monday night. And then the Titans game in week 2, Sunday, 1 o'clock, we'll have one for that as well. So if you can make both, great. If you can only come to one, awesome. It's going to be a blast. Can't wait.
Everybody in the chat, if you have any questions about Jake's events, just feel free to reach out to him or reach out to me, and I'll give you all the information you need. Watch parties for week 1 and week 2. Ryan, they're on to us in the chat. They're on to us. They're on to us a little bit. I thought they forgot. They didn't forget, Ryan. They didn't forget. Guys, thank you so much for all the support on the Jets Roundtable. I had to give another shout out to BetUS Sportsbook for powering today's show. 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, folks, up to $2,000. The New York Jets are your betting favorite to win the AFC East. We will see you guys next week on the Jets Roundtable and tonight on the AFC East Roundtable and an hour on the Huddle on BetUS TV if you want to go check me out over there. Peace out, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Let's go, Jets. Peace.